Bah! Oh, let's finish the interview. On you.
Okay, so because your efforts to raise funds for IDF, which we are greatly appreciative for, really occurred because you met Ironmouse. I don't know her real name. I would just call her Ironmouse. And she's your friend. And, you learned. Tell me a little bit about how you met her. Was it, I guess it was just virtually, or have you ever met her in real life?
No, I've
tell me
never
about
met
your
her in real life.
friendship.
Yeah,
Tell me about that.
I met Ironmouse. Oh my God, went back maybe like 2021 or 2020. I'm not exactly sure on the date. And I just seen her stuff around because she was kind of quite prominent. I thought that she was very interesting, so I was like, oh, we should do a stream sometime together. And so we played some games, and it was very fun. And I got to speak to her a little bit more outside of the streaming, and I just thought that she was a really like interesting and unique person. And then she told me more about her disease, because at the time I was like, oh, you should, like, Japan's awesome, you should go and check it out. And then, obviously I found out she can't come and check it out, unfortunately. And to me, I'd never heard of CVID at that time. I'm sure it's the same in the US as well, but I'm again from Wales, in the very countryside. Everyone's very outdoorsy, and they were like, what? No, the illness is it doesn't exist, you just have to.
Oh my, I remember that conversation. We had recorded for his video, and we ended up talking for like 4 or 5 hours after we recorded for his video, and we were just talking about lots of random stuff and stuff we liked, and he was like, oh man, you'd really like it in Japan. And I'm like, oh well, I can't go. I can't really, like, I'll never forget the way I said it. I was like, I can't really, like, go there. And he was like, what do you mean? And he's like, you're a streamer, of course you can go there. And I'm like, no, I can't go. And he's like, he was like, I mean, he's like, of course you can. I'm sure you make a lot of money streaming. And I'm like, no, it's not the money. And he's like, oh, are you like afraid of flying or something? And I'm like, and at the time I didn't want to tell him. It was almost like I had to, like, I was like, well, I don't really, and I was like, I don't usually, like, tell people this the first time, like, I meet them or talking to them, but something in me was just like, just tell him the truth. Because at first I was just gonna, like, lie and just be like, oh no, I just don't do much traveling. But then I decided to tell him the truth, and I was just like, so I have a condition. And he's like, condition? And I'm like, yeah. And then I explained it to him. I was gonna fucking lie and make up some or, like, how sometimes VTubers meet people and like, oh, I'm from hell. I just never did the whole, like, VTuber, like, act with him when we were on call. Like, I was just immediately myself, which I am myself on stream. I just never did the whole I'm from hell with him. It was more like, yeah, kayfabe. I never did the kayfabe stuff with him on call. I just, like, I don't know. I felt really comfortable around him, and I immediately dropped it, like, really fast, and I told him where I was from and all this stuff. And actually, I didn't tell him where I was from until, like, a week or two of us talking. But I told him, like, about my issue, and then that's when I told him, I was like, well, I'm just gonna be honest with you. So I have this problem, and I've been dealing with it all my life, and it's gotten worse as I got older, and I have to take a lot of meds, and I have to do this, and basically, like, my whole life is dictated by this problem. And he was like, oh. And I remember when I told him, he got, like, really sad. He got really sad. He got really sad for me, and I could tell that he felt really bad, and he genuinely felt sad for me. And I was like, it's okay, I'm fine. And it was like, I don't know, it was just, like, really very sincere. He was just very sincere and very sweet when talking about that stuff. And then we went right back to, like, ripping on each other. And I was like, oh man. And that's when I was like, okay, I I feel like I've known this person for a long time, but like we just met and he treats me like a normal person, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So then I was like, I remember he was like, you know, you can trust me. He would tell me, you can trust me with things. You can trust me with things. I won't ever force you to share anything you don't want to share, but I'm just letting you know, if you want to trust me, you can trust me. But I'm just telling you that you can trust me. But I'm not putting any pressure on you. So if you want to share stuff with me, you can. But if you don't want to share anything with me, it's fine too. And I'm like, wow. I didn't feel any pressure in saying stuff. And that was nice. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
To me, I'd never heard of CVID at that time. You know, I'm from, I'm sure it's the same in the US as well, but I'm again from Wales in the very countryside. Everyone's very outdoorsy, and they were like, "What? No, the illness is it doesn't exist. You just have to be more active and eat healthy." It's that's very much the kind of mindset that I grew up in. And so I'd never heard of this at all, and obviously through talking to Mouse, I'd kind of learned more about it, and as a creator who'd been doing this for a very long time, you know, at the time I knew Mouse, I'd been working online like full time, like 6-7 years, and Mouse had just kind of started.
That's true.
And at the time, I really felt like, oh, I could, you know, I'd love to kind of, you know, kind of impose myself. Like, if you need any help with anything, you want any advice, I've been doing this for a very long time.
That's true.
I
He
can
offered me a lot
give
of
some
advice.
any knowledge or any insight on any topics. And so we kind of just spoke a lot about it, and we just kind of started collaborating a lot more on stream, and it kind of became a weekly thing. And she's helped me out a lot with my streaming stuff, and it's been a very great assistance, and I've helped her out a lot, and it just kind of became a very good team, where it's always nice to have somebody who you can just kind of rely on, who's just always reliable and always delivers. And so having that kind of, that we were great friends, but also we work really well together professionally. We just kind of became very close. And then, you know, the moment that any kind of charity event came up, I was like, well, I really want to help this organization that a lot of people didn't know about, and a lot of people didn't even know about the disease. So I was like, okay, this seems like a good cause, because I, you know, not to slight any charities or really rude, but I often find that a lot of people, when they do things for charity, it's very generic, and they're like, I just heard of this charity, it sounds like a good idea, let's just do it. But I really wanted to be engaged with the charity and the message and the story, to get people involved as well. I find that having a story really gets people involved in the charity, and so it kind of really just made sense, and the stars kind of aligned.
Let's talk about the actual auction a little bit. You know, there's a lot of information on the website already. Tell me what role you'll play in the auction. Are you going to be the auctioneer for 4 hours? Or are you going to have some of your guest streamers step in and, you know,
basically kind of be the main auctioneer, main host, kind of the one who's keeping the flow of the show, calling when the item auctions are done, introducing all the guests. So the guests will come on and introduce their items, maybe banter a little bit, you know, and they'll watch their items go up, and they'll try and hype people up. But yeah, mainly my role is the auctioneer, the host, kind of making sure this whole thing goes well and is entertaining, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Tell me just a few of the items that you're going to be contributing that you think people might be super interested in.
We have a handmade painting from PewDiePie, who's one of the biggest YouTubers ever, over 100 million subscribers, and he made his first ever handmade painting that we're gonna auction off, which I think people are gonna be very excited for.
PewDiePie painting.
And we also, what else are we giving away? I'm giving away a bunch of my own anime stuff. I'm also gonna give people the opportunity to be in one of my videos as well. A friend of mine is giving, Ironmouse is giving a chance to hang out with her for an hour. Another chess streamer, a very, very strong chess player, is giving away a chess lesson. We have a legal YouTuber who's giving away a gavel. There's just a bunch of varied items. Some people are giving away a t-shirt, just a white t-shirt. We have somebody giving away a copy of FIFA 17. Just various random items. It's completely random. We have some really crazy valuable things and some really dumb items. But, you know, it should make for a really fun show that people, some items will do really well, some will do really funny. Maybe not so well. We'll see.
What platform? What platform is the FIFA 17?
You
It's like
pervert!
an Xbox 360, I think. It's like it's not even remotely useful. I don't know why he's giving. I don't know why he's giving away, but it'll be funny.
So that comes with like a fire hazard as well.
I guess so. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You get a red ring of death Xbox as well. I don't know.
Okay, and I have the list of the people who will be attending the other stream. I don't really. It's on the website. You know who they
You
are,
don't have
but
to know them. Don't worry.
my
I
drawing?
don't know. I did a thing. It's my favorite name. That's pretty interesting.
This channel's fantastic.
Wait, who did you say? Who was
And
her favorite YouTuber?
so they'll be there. And what about now? Will Ironmouse be there in some virtual form?
Ironmouse will be there virtually on an iPad. We'll be able to interact a little bit, so it should be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But we'll have some messages from Ironmouse as well and videos. So very excited for that.
Okay. And do you have any kind
Yeah, I
of goal,
recorded
or is
some
it
videos
just
for his
as far
event.
as the amount you want to raise, or is it just however much we raise, we raise?
I'd love to, and I know it's just so ambitious, but I'd love to raise $500,000 again.
She said she liked the name. I
just so
did
that
a
I
thing.
can say this year I've raised
Oh, she
$1
likes
million
I did a
for charity
thing.
and
Aw,
the IDF,
that's
of course.
cute.
It's been my goal this
I
year to
wouldn't
raise
have
$1 million
guessed.
for charity in general. So if I can get it done in June, I'd be very happy with that. So that's my goal. So if we can do that, that'd be great.
What would you say to people to encourage them to participate in the auction?
Yeah, I mean, just watching along and not even getting involved at all helps a lot. Just being a viewer
Yeah.
and visuals and items that are coming on. And I think, again, people always like, I wish I could donate. It's like, no, don't worry about that. Just being a part of the event and watching helps kind of spread the event around and gets more people involved, and maybe some people who are more financially able to give a lot of money or give anything. So just watching and being there helps so much.
Exactly. And also, I mean, it helps spread awareness of what, primary immunodeficiency is.
Exactly.
It's certainly nothing I'd ever heard of 4 years ago when I started working for IDF. And I've learned a heck of a lot. So people will learn, more about this condition, which is rare, but maybe not as rare as some people think.
Yeah.